Yalla, yalla, there's a grief that can't be spoken. There's a pain goes on and on. Empty chairs and empty tables. Now my friends are dead and gone. Yeah, because it's the post-WrestleMania bloodbath, future endeavorment, and where the horsemen, well, that's Ultra Kayfabe classified and not for your security clearance, infidels. But we're back here for the Friday locker room to run down all the mark-ass headlines. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's Hacker Haminie. It's Haminie Media Group. Yalla. Oh, there's plenty of Les Miserables out there this morning after no show last night. But based on advice of our legal counsel and what's happened with Project Veritas and some other things we were working on, we are not going to take the chance. So right now, we've gone underground. There's some mercenaries out there that we're partnering with, and we'll see how things shake out. But right now, that's for us to know and you to keep questioning and tweeting and freaking out about. But this morning, he's back with the serious part down the middle. He's been up working out since 3. He's had his egg whites, his first eggs, his shakes. He's had it all, man. And now I'm going to give him the shakes from the headlines, but it's my tag team partner, Big Stevie Cool. Good morning, buddy.
Come on in, everybody. The water is just fine. It's boiling a little bit. Don't drag us down, please. If we try to escape the lobster pot, don't drag us back down. Try to climb up yourself. Do not be it's a slow boil for frogs like us, but it's becoming a quick boil. Yeah, I mean, all we can do is, we have certain brands to protect, and we have certain brands we all want to create. We look at it as a very exciting thing that we're going to be able to concentrate on, you concentrating on the Patreon stuff with the people that you work with, and also trying to garner more stuff, potential Russo brand news coming soon, hopefully. If not, it's just going to keep getting better. And then especially Sal and Pop It On with the NFO. We really want to put energy into making that the most easily monetized. Can't even say it because I'm going to be talking about money all day. Bidding wars. It's the easiest monetization model out of all of our brands. It really is. Star Wars, he can have a pile of dolls, action figures, Millennium Falcons, and money coming in, and conventions and appearances. It could be the next chapter for Pop It On, and I don't see him getting tired of Star Wars anytime soon. And then, of course, Sal with the things I've been seeing, very cool Mystery Science Theater type stuff that he and Chuck are working on, prop-based stuff I really have never seen on YouTube. Really? So when it does come up, just little things. I mean, I'm just talking about like pictures we've all seen of just what the rough draft looks like, but it's all very exciting. And that Sal will never be tired of that kind of stuff. These genres will, and I have to keep working out because wrestling sucks, and I guess I'll get a call soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I know they put up whoever they is, maybe it was Jeff, I'm not sure, who's running the Russo brand Twitter, but good conversation about everything that's kind of going on in the end. Like, leave it in there when I stiff fucking Viking Raiders and Kevin Owens for being out of shape as the go home. I'm waiting, and I go, and here comes the text in 3, 2. I'm surprised I haven't got one yet from KO. But the way it cuts, it looks like I'm just insulting him. There's another 2 minutes where I put him over because I just want to see a guy like that be the best that he can be, and in the opportunity and spot that he has, and that's the exact truth for all of us too. I want everybody to grow their property to incredible heights and make themselves undeniable. And right now, along with some other things that are going on that we can't talk about, it's just better to lay out for a minute, and then we'll see what comes, what may. So, but May is right around the corner. Mayday. So get ready, guys. Even though there's an inch of snow on the ground here today, Stevie. When we left, it was 50s really? And yeah, it's snowing this morning, man. So welcome to New York, concrete jungle where dreams are crushed now. Yeah, with tax bills and everything else going on, man.
Oh, I know something about the tax bill. My wife had asked me about that. She saw the number, which the tax bill was It was fair. I mean, I did it with TurboTax, not an ad for them, but they're welcome to pay for this. My cousin had been using them for 14 years, and his portfolio was every bit, if not more complicated than mine, because he owns real estate. He owns other assets that I don't. He has children. So there's different things, and they really do make it super simple. And I'm sure what's the other one, H&R Block?
That's what
they
use.
make it super simple for about a fraction of the price plus the protections. I mean, I could call a tax expert right now and talk to him. I really could. Like I've chatted with him when I was doing my taxes, and it was like $380 for everything. And now I have pretty complicated taxes, and it synced up with everything, and it was really cool. But then the bill came in, and my wife looked at it, and I'm just sitting there, and she's like, "You're really like you're very even about this and this and that." And I go, "No, I've just been getting my ass kicked for 30 years, and I can't fight it anymore." Right?
Left. There's no gas in the tank.
By the way, Biden said no amendment is absolute, which is probably like there's one amendment in there about slavery, I think. So yeah. But also the tax amendment, the 16th Amendment, I believe. Am I wrong? 13th is slavery, 16th is the 1913 Amendment, right? On taxes.
I think so.
Is that not an absolute amendment? I mean, first and second are not absolutes. What are we talking about? Well, they're not
absolute. Does that mean we have to pay it if they're not absolute? I mean, the president, it's not absolute.
If you watch a movie that might not even be available anymore, Freedom to Fascism with Aaron Russo, who died of a very quick acting cancer after the movie came out, which is very odd. But besides the whole thing about surveillance and the pizza, the famous pizza call, like we looked at your health insurance and it went up $15 because you're going to eat this pizza. Yeah. But there was a part in there where in Illinois, I believe, someone challenged the amendment. Someone challenged the tax amendment, saying it's illegal to pay tax at this level. They were ruled after the IRS stormed the restaurant, I believe, with guns and confiscated the furniture and all that stuff. The court ruled in the defendant's favor, the guy who they had raided, and they said he owed all the taxes, but he still had to pay his taxes. Okay, you're absolutely right, but let's just get through this week.
Right. And I'm sure he's not audited every fucking year after that, and eyes on him the whole nine just to stretch him out. But do
yourself a favor too. Don't call out the Philadelphia mayor. Just for a friend, I'm saying this. Don't call out the Philadelphia mayor on a local radio show about kickbacks for the Philadelphia Phillies stadium in Chinatown, and then get audited every year for 5 years.
Yeah. That's a quick way to get on the good list. But I want to say thank you to all Haminie Media Group producers, all the listeners and everything, as I had a much needed break, man. I think I went 104 days straight with no breaks. And that last week I was just out of my mind with stresses of what's going to happen with the platform, the tax gimmicks, and getting ready to go to Epstein Island, and getting everything done that way. So thanks for all the soldiers, all hands on deck, keeping things running while I was away. And man, it was incredible. 3 days on the beach there at Epstein Island. Well, I mean, I'll put them over if you want to go to a great place. And I heard bad things about Dominican Republic and don't go and because we're Jamaica fans. But we went to the Rio Republic all adults only resort, which is a massive property, bro. Like there's only one thing is like when you walk from your room to the beach, it's a quarter mile, it's a half mile there and back, bro. It's a serious trek, but it's a beautiful facility. Food was really great. People were awesome there. It's interesting to see, all right, you're in the Caribbean and what pirate influence had in developing these countries through slave trade or whatever it was, man. But like, you have Haiti on the other side of the island, which we don't really see much, but there's a lot of like sugarcane fields and all that we passed on the trip to the resort, which we just stayed there at the resort. So much to do, but the beach was the most incredible I've ever been in. The water crystal clear, the drinks were great, and the entertainment was at a level I was astonished. Like it was Vegas level good. I've seen other little indie, local things in Jamaica. They were doing some wow factor stuff. So we had a great time, but the big heater on the way back. So take the wives on a little shopping trip, right? And bringing back gifts for people. And we like to get quality coffee. You know, we're big on the Blue Mountain
No
Jamaican.
Broasters available in Dominican Republic, right?
Well, yeah, but Broasters is right there with it, man. And
I'm saying it wasn't available there.
No, but Santo Domingo is available there, and it's a very good and chocolatey coffee. I like it a lot. And no, I'm not even going to do the line because the dude did it on NXT, and I wanted to punch him in the face, and I want to punch myself in the face if I do it. But we probably spent, I don't know, $60-$70 on coffee and cocos to bring back for our family and tribe, and get through security. It's security in Santo Domingo Airport. Like it's nice enough, but you realize you're not, you're in a second world country, right? They split men and women. You go through security. They give you the full pat down. Everybody checking everybody for everything weapons wise. All right. So it's like you're going into the club. We get around the back and one of the wives' bags gets flagged and they open it up. Dude, they take every piece out that you have and go through everything. Like I've never seen it security before. And we make it through the metal detectors. Dude, bags of coffee completely sealed, in the what we bought for. Whoop, she fucking 3 points them into this big fucking clear basket of shit you're not going to take, that you're not allowed to have this at all. So there goes $70 of fucking top quality coffee sitting there. And she conveniently forgets any English that she may know. And my wife starts freaking out because I can't be up there behind this yellow line only one at a time for security purposes. And she's giving my wife the fucking Matumbo finger wave and shit like that.
No.
Yeah. So I get up and I'm like, why can't we have that? Like we bought them in gift shop. Like you're here with fucking, resorts that you want to keep open in a time of COVID where they're losing millions upon millions of dollars. And we had a great time up until this point where this fucking cunt is going to shake her finger in my face. You can't take this. So obviously the mood's changed and I'm trying to calm myself down and the wives. We get through customs. This is only within 20 yards of each other. As soon as you walk through customs, gift shops on the other side, buy the exact same coffee, except it's got to be in a security bag, which is a plastic clear bag with a zip on top that they tape and it's got a number on it. That's the only fucking thing. Meanwhile, there's 2 and 3 drug dogs walking around. So if they really wanted to bust people bringing back ounces of cocaine, that you could, because I guess that's like the number one drug there, being so close to, wherever in South America to import. But there's 3 drug dogs there. Instead, this chick's just going to huck the coffee and whatnot. Meanwhile, I got fucking 3 rolled J's in my bag and this fucking dog can't sniff that out. So your dog sucks. Your security sucks. And fucking, I am getting through with whatever I want, but the shit you want tourists to buy and support your country, you're saying, fuck you. So we got to spend another $40 on coffee in the gift shops on the other side where mine sat 40 fucking yards away and in a big bin. And I hope it's in their break room today. And I hope somebody fucking chokes to death on it.
Well, my conspiracy theory was that they empty those bags and put them in the bags that are 40 feet away, and they're making money off that.
Yeah, dude, like that's it was just all like, we had a great time. So if there's one rib that's like the fuck you, like, so be it. But
lesson learned, don't spend money in your country anymore. That's only going to hurt them.
I'm going to go back and I'll get the coffee, but I'll do it like that. Hard lesson learned, like good rib. You're going to fucking ruin somebody's time of possibly coming back over that kind of shit. Just absolutely asinine, bro.
Well, my trip to Dominican Republic was slightly different because I took, my accommodations were booked by a wrestling promoter.
Okay.
So I was not on the resort. I was in the neighborhoods across the street from a brothel that I wasn't aware was a brothel until all of the girls came in and started ironing the clothes for some of the guys. Like, wow, they have maids to iron your clothes. Then I came back for breakfast and there the girls come with some of the guys and are having breakfast with them. And I said, that's weird. The maid, I said it out loud. This is how naive I am. I said, so the maids come and have breakfast in Dominican Republic with the guests. And they looked at me like, you're such a fucking baby. And then I found out like the last day what these girls were. And I said, yeah, you guys are all pigs. I was like, hope you get AIDS.
How was that working a show in Dominican Republic?
So terrible.
Was it?
They don't start the shows on time. I literally the first night I started the show at 9:30 p.m. You go there and you're like, okay, it's a 7:30 show. At Puerto Rico, I heard was like this too. They just start whenever they feel like starting. It is the weirdest thing. I went out and rang the bell and I go, show starting, everybody. And I was like, you're looking at like the guy who booked me, who I knew. It was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, we're starting the show. He goes, oh, no, that's not how it works around here. I was like, just like when you booked me at the whatever hotel it is. I was doing a lot of yoga at the time and there was no gyms. They had a pool in the back and it was all cobblestone. It was kind of nice. I took my blanket out to use as a yoga mat, the top quilt,
right?
Because it was dirty anyway. So threw it out there, did everything, and little kids started coming up as I was doing the yoga and just like touching my hair. It was bizarre.
You and Biden. I mean, that's the whole thing.
No, they did it to me. They were Biden. I was the daughter, the girl. But I would never. I mean, there's certain things like it's cool that I got to go to certain places, but without the WWE umbrella of protection, say what you will about the company, without the WWE banner over the group, it's a completely different experience. I've been to Puerto Rico with WWE. I've been to Japan, Puerto Rico, not Puerto Rico. I was in Puerto Rico, San Juan, Thailand, Australia a bunch of times, Scotland. I've been just about everywhere they were going at the time.
Right.
And I've been to those places without them 100 times.
Yeah, it's the difference between staying on the resort and staying at
absolutely. The only country I would say that I was like, wow, I would actually voluntarily come back. I don't know about now. I'm talking about back then, voluntarily come back to this country because I had such a pleasant experience when I was there without the WWE, is Germany. Had a pleasant experience with them, then went to an indie show, and it was that's where Joey Legend lives, the guy that we had on the Horseman.
Right.
I don't know what it's like now, but it's, it's.
Well, it's an experiment. It's an experiment for tyranny in every way.
An experiment just to move to another state in the U.S. anymore.
It is, man. It is really. And, they had masks like for certain things when you're going into the gift shop or you're going up to the buffet, you wear your mask. But it was, when you're just going in to get sat down. So it's an exercise in absurdity because as soon as you sit down, you take it off and do whatever, eat and whatever the drink, whatever the fuck you want. But, it's just when you walk through the door and walk that first 20 feet to your table, that's where COVID can really fucking.
Yeah. Oh, you got to watch out. And COVID supposedly is, I believe they call them little viruses now, like little people. It only infects you. No, it actually infects you when you stand up. So it's actually Nephilim viruses.
Oh, so
you
it's
have to be high up. Like Sal's going to be dead any minute. But, I'm shrinking and Russo's right in line. Russo's next in line for the virus to hit him. Somebody asked me if I was in the barrio. I guess that's where I was because all I know is people were driving down these little side streets that were dirt and just throwing the trash bags off the back of their truck onto the street. And the only reason I noticed because I saw a couple stray cats and like an idiot, I was walking in the neighborhood alone trying to save stray cats. When I did, swear to God, I saw like 2 or 3 people with machine guns just hanging out.
Oh yeah, dude. When we rolled up through, because we had a long commute because we didn't fly into the airport we should have. So it was like 2 hours to get to the gimmick. And, when we were in Santo Domingo, there's definitely, it looks like the Fuji's video where they're rolling around on the little mopeds and shit. And it's grimy as hell. But once you got out of that, it was a lot like New York agriculture. And actually the highways were in way better shape than I thought they would be. But there was sugarcane fields and processing plants and stuff and cattle and whatnot out there. I was like, this could be, livable once you're outside of there, if you can get used to the third world aspect of it and the conveniences, it's kind of probably going back to like living in 1982, which might not be
say what you will about them, but they're still banning all the GMOs and the deadly things in the food that we let in this country. So see if they're so dirty, why they still believe in at least not putting bad stuff in their body. Oh
yeah, and even if it's sugar, you can taste it in the difference in a Pepsi or Coke. without the fructose corn syrup and aspartame versus something really being made there, you know. So it was interesting to see the culture, but the people were super nice, and everything I had heard about, you know, and again, staying at a resort is staying at a resort, but I didn't have any issues or feel any kind of way until I had to get in Matumbo's face about the fucking coffee. That was my only bad experience. So if you're a fan of the Caribbean and you don't mind just kind of kicking it at the and they have excursions to do whatever, but right off the back of our place, they had the parasailing, and of course they got a big goddamn parasail says disco on it. So I'm like, oh, Disco Inferno's in the house. That was great. There goes my vacation. So you know, but it was a great time, and I needed that to recharge. So again, thanks to everybody, and now we're right back in it.
Now, here's where it's going to get really interesting. This may be the last trip. I want to read that comment in a second. Leave it up. Yeah, chair workout is something that's still challenging. Someone put up there about the chair workout. Do the chair yoga workout if you've done the band workout. Do that along with that to recover. So,
our own Media M5 working hard. I'm proud of you, bro.
So here's the deal, though. Could this be the last trip that you take internationally or even state to state without the vaccine? Because the cruise ships are requiring a vaccine, most of them at least. I believe that's because they got bailed out too.
The fucking Buffalo Bills are requiring it. So while I was away, they're the bread and circus. I'm supposed to trust some fat bitch who works part-time at TSA at Buffalo Airport, who also works at the goddamn fucking arena, and is the one, she's going to be the gatekeeper on whether I get to go someplace along those lines. And you know they're going to have the vaccine tent right in the fucking parking lot. It's just absolutely absurd. I hope the NFL loses at least 50% of their live viewers again this year after a record one, just for supporting that shit. They're going through all of the fucking individual groups to try and convert people now instead of the one-to-one. So where can we hit this group of people, musicians? Where can we hit these sports fans? Where can we do this, that, or the other to try and get bigger conversion? Churches, they're going to do all that shit, and I hope it blows up in their face. But the man who's always ready to blow up, Michael Jargo, our own producer's in the house this morning. Shout out to you, buddy. I hope everything's well. We're 53 strong here on Ben Hameen and Hameen Media Group YouTube channels. You guys, thanks for all the messages last night. It's just something we can't go into right now, but you can always go to Hameen Media Group on Patreon, patreon.com/Hameen Media Group, where I'm putting up all of the shows for free, as well as Ben Hameen YouTube channel. Put up NXT yesterday, and as well as the Wednesday locker room. So plenty of great content there for you guys to listen to.
Let me ask you this. Since we're talking about vaccines and talking about wrestling, we talked about it on Russo where 8 people were off Raw, or 8 people were off SmackDown and Raw. 8 talents were not on the TV show, correct? Mm-hmm. That's about what we looked at. And there was some rumblings that it had to do with the lack of them wanting the vaccine. Mm-hmm. Or not wanting that WWE may quietly be forcing the talent.
Yeah, there was 8 people who weren't available, and they said it's COVID related. Well, what the fuck does that mean? COVID related means to me, fuck you, I'm not taking this. I'm an athlete in the prime of my life, and I feel fine, and I'm not doing it just to jump through some fucking bigger hoop so you can exploit me as a marketing ploy. But RBP's in the house too. He says he got the shot and he's not feeling good the last 2 days on it. Some disturbing video GGP sent from a drive-up vaccination where somebody starts going into seizure right in their fucking car. Jared Cantor asked, did I see the LeBron James stuff? I know Sal made a joke about it in the chat this morning, but
LeBron James docks that cop who shot the girl that was she was just trying to stab another girl to death. And he shot her. And LeBron James posted the picture of the cop saying, "You're next." And I don't know if he's trying to book a match with Goldberg or not, but he's trying to get that cop essentially, "You're next," meaning now was whatever accountability hashtag. So he's talking, this is directly after the Chauvin verdict. So it can't be, and they deleted the tweet. But he never apologized. He never did the tweet, apologize, dive, repeat, whatever.
So let's hit LeBron James with that link to the shirt, you guys. Tweet, apologize, dive, repeat. All 52 of you right now in the
And
chat.
what's wrong with China, though? What's wrong with China and their concentration camps? And listen, I'm telling you right now, everybody, you can clip this if you want, Plaja or Kaz. Charles Barkley said it best when he said, "We are not your role models. Athletes are not your role models. Politicians and public figures, entertainers, singers, us are not your role models. Do your own research, think for yourself, look for yourself, listen for yourself, believe nothing but what you know in your heart and your soul, and it goes to your mind. What everything, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. But don't be lazy and just think you have the luxury of just hijacking someone else's opinion because it's easy. That's the problem in this world. That's the problem, especially with what's going on here at the point where we're at on all these different fronts. It's a problem that on a much smaller bubble, a much smaller scale, is the WWE. The WWE is a complete echo chamber of not looking at things objectively. They're making their own narrative, and that's what people tend to do.
This is a little interesting hypothetical that I saw in the last 24 hours in news cycle that I wanted to put together this morning for you. So we know Sami Zayn of Syrian descent and has his own charity and all that, and for Syria relief. And I see they took those when he's dancing like a jackass during the Jake Paul thing, as opposed to going down the road we wanted to with the conspiracy documentary that was phenomenal. And now he's just dancing like a douche to pop them in the back, whatever. That's a shirt of him in these little dance poses that somebody drew up, and 100% of through ProWrestlingTees.com, which I'm very surprised that Vince is letting him do that. 100% of the proceeds go to his Syria charity. And okay, noble enough. I take no umbrage with that. However, you want to play into the bigger globalist part of it. I see the story of Iran now enriching uranium to 60%. 90% is what you need for the bomb. 60% is the excuse they're using for radioisotope type medicine. Everything's always under medical, right? That's how we fucking market and bullshit everything. Then I see, not saying, and people are like, they want the bomb to fuck over Israel. Then this morning I see that Syria is launching missile strikes near shit with Israel, and Israel is ready to retaliate and fuck over Syria. Not that I'm a big proponent of the globalist cabal of Israel, especially what they've done with COVID and fucking leading the way with that fucking monstrosity of a psyop. But now we're going to get into something. What happens when Israel fucking bombs Syria and Vince stands with Goldberg over Sami Zayn and fucking the real masters and the real money? Now you got a guy in your roster giving charity to Syria while you have to toe whatever CIA op that you did with fucking Saudi Arabia and the, and that whole gimmick. The CIA is obviously going to back Netanyahu in Syria, but you got this guy in your roster when they're going to try and paint Syria as public enemy number one to do a proxy war with Iran in the white hats on that fucking ground. And that day is coming within the next 2 years.
I'm not familiar with Sami Zayn on Instagram or Twitter outside of the stuff we watch. So he may have done this, but he was very vocal about Syria when it was during the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
One of Biden's first major acts was to bomb Syria after he got inaugurated.
Right.
I don't think I ever saw anything publicly shared with our news stories, especially. I think you would have brought that up on the locker room as news, right? Because you brought it up when he was talking about that with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
That's it. Well, I'll come back to that.
Jesse Ventura said there's no difference between either party. So if you're going to say whatever for Trump, you got to say, and I'm not defending Trump. I'm saying, hey, this vaccine stuff and this Operation Warp Speed and these vaccines coming to market years ahead of what they should be was on Trump's watch. So for everybody that's praising him for how fast it came out, we are not two people that are doing so.
Exactly. So which side are you going to fall on when it comes to it? And then this was interesting. Senator Ted Cruz puts up, come on, catch. The Green New
hell yeah, bitch.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Green New Deal will destroy American and energy industry as we know it. Sammy retweets, "Hell yeah, bitch!" And then a guy who I'm trying to get an interview with because I love his music, but he's very leftist. The Mountain Goats own John Darnielle says, "Say it, Sammy." So if you haven't listened to the Mountain Goats Beat the Champ album, you definitely need to go do that today on YouTube. A phenomenal folk album about really great wrestling songs, but these artists that we collude and collaborate with who feel one kind of way, and then when the switch goes the other way and it's proven to them that there isn't a right horse to back, all those horses are in the same fucking barn and you ain't in it, but you're getting played a certain way. What happens when that does go down, when Israel does fuck over Syria, when the American line has to be? And here's the other thing, just from a worker standpoint, I get it, we want to be, men of character, but he's in WWE, just finally getting over after this whole time, after Uber driver, after fucking ska, after Fidel Castro. Then the conspiracy thing was interesting, but now it's more of a douchey kind of Hollywood type thing, but he's still more over than he's ever been. Why would you risk that for this type of shit? And if you and I as workers have the foresight and fucking vision to see what's coming and we don't have jobs, we would never play it like that if we were in that fucking position. So all of these little things now that are not going to be evergreen. They're going to come back around. And if they're fucking watching over Mickey James and Chelsea Green going back and forth in their little gal pal thing and that pisses them off, what the fuck do you think shitting on Biden or going in on the Green New Deal when, look into that, you guys, it's only a $300 trillion tax for the next 20 years. It's going to fucking redo everything to lithium batteries, self-driving cars, all fucking grid where you're tracked every single second of every fucking day. That's what's in the Green New Deal. And it's going to cost for the next 500 years to be paid off. So we'll be long and dead before any of it goes. And it's all a front loaded work anyway for those guys to steal hundreds of billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Al Gore became a billionaire off of
yeah.
Well, if he only got 12 years left anyway, like now it's 10 years for AOC, then what are we talking about? A 20-year deal for? Like, I want to go back to Sami Zayn talking about how the energy industry will be destroyed. And I'm somebody that it breaks my heart to see any homeless person, to see anybody suffering, somebody who lived in his car a couple times early in his wrestling career. I understand what it's like, to feel hopelessness, to feel like what's going to happen tomorrow. And I don't have a kid next to me in the back seat, like some families in 2008 who lost their house because the banks got bailed out, but the people didn't. I understand the anger of all that stuff. I can't even say what label I put on myself or you, because we're just two men. Our views and everything are fluid according to situations, not flip-flopping. It's just, we have to look at the whole thing.
And not die hard to some party where I have to toe a line.
Yeah, well, what do they think? So once again, they are not your role models any more or less than we are. But when I look at it, and I look at these people that want super high taxes, that want all this stuff, and they want things to happen that are morally superior. I'm not saying morally right, morally superior. Why do you people have accountants? Why do you people have multiple homes that you're writing off? Why do you even just file taxes why do you file write-offs? Why does the Sami Zayn write off his hotels, his rental cars, his meals, his per diem? The Sami Zayn take the standardized tax deduction. You're implicitly, like, when you start making money, like I say, today's poor liberal is tomorrow's wealthy conservative.
Yeah.
You don't have shit. You want it all paid for. When you start becoming successful, even we're by no means even 6 figures a year or anything like that, but what we make is ours and we work hard for it. And every wrestler, every independent contractor, every employee, every company, every small to medium to large business, they all to some degree earn their money and work hard. Now, politicians are a completely different thing. They do shit except stir it up so they can still.
Even how they live doesn't even come close to matching the money they make. So where is the fucking truth in that?
Well, because here's the thing, they can do legal insider trading. It's done repeatedly, but we let it happen. Just like a bad relationship.
And there's 501c and charities where they're just funneling fucking lobbyist money that's never claimed, and it's put into some other bullshit, and they've got a secret checkbook for that too, bro. Like it's lie upon lie. At the end of the day, Sammy, I fucking salute him for sticking by his, having moral claws and compass for what he believes in. But at the end of the day, you're in the fucking mafia, bro. You're in this shit no matter what. You don't get to that.
We're all making compromises. You're making a compromise by working for that lunatic and working within that system. And you've had to politic to some degree. It's not a pure meritocracy.
Right.
So you've had to do something. You've been up and down with that company. I would say Sammy and Kevin, for however I disagree with them, have stood up publicly or spoke out publicly for what they believed in more than most wrestlers that I know.
Well, they have a reaction that's not thought out well sometimes.
No, but they stick by it. They double down on their. They double down.
Did they really stick by it when they wanted fucking Riker and those guys fucked over? They came out and did a quick 1-2 because they were butthurt because those guys actually got the fuck out there. And I'm not trying to put over the war for oil post 9/11 bullshit, the hunt for lithium batteries and heroin part 2. But at the end of the day, those guys got out there and fucking were IED'd, shot at, rocket propelled grenade, because that's what they did in the post 9/11 psyop, was sign up to be fucking soldiers. Meanwhile, these two Canadians who have never stood a post and maybe never even pulled a trigger are the ones who are going to say, I would punch you in the fucking face if you didn't take this shit down right now. They didn't earn anything except Twitter thumbs. Those guys fucking put their necks on the line to fucking not come home. There's a difference in integrity there, in my opinion, dude.
Those guys had to borderline almost silently apologize for it and take like Vince Russo on the recent episode of Raw SmackDown Review, or was it on Master Shoot? I think it was on Master Shoot. When Vince went back to WWE in 2002, and Vince says, "Well, you're going to have to eat shit, pal." Like, and Vince was one of the few people that did not accept that. Like, why? Why do we have to do that? So maybe there was the conversation to Riker or Gunner, I mean, whatever his real name is, and even Steve Cutler, and then the third guy. I don't think the third guy was he a real veteran too?
Yes.
I would. All right. So all three of them, and they might have stood there like the Hurt Business and said, "No, I believe what I believe," thinking maybe Vince would be like, "I respect that because Vince is a patriot, and Vince allowed this to happen." Vince allowed SJWs to dictate what he was going to do with these guys on the school brand, the wrestling school brand.
Yeah, on the cancel.
Okay. No, what they did too, Ben. What Sammy and Kevin did was the same thing as I said that kills careers. When Vince goes, "What do you think?" and you just go. So if people watching video or audio, listen to the audio, I just shrug my shoulders and just kind of winced a little bit. You don't got to say no, but the fact that you didn't say yes is enough to bury anybody.
Right.
So when they came in that little quick jab, it was enough to plant the seed. And the Riker and the guy should have came back and go, "Fuck you. We'll see you in the locker room. We'll see who. See you say that to our face." That would have gotten the national news, because I would have walked right up to both of them if I was these guys and said, "Say it to my face." And if they did, I would have punched them both right in their face. Fuck you. You don't. I serve this country. You didn't do shit. That's
you're not from it. You make.
I don't know the stories that Gunner told, but Vince told me that Gunner would tell him stories. That's how he got the name Gunner. He was on the back of the truck shooting as people were shooting at him. You don't get much more hardcore than that, man.
No, but you want to safety hide behind Twitter. So I don't know. It's just going to be an interesting situation with these tweets later on when the real shit pops off, and then he's kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place. Or that SJW, I feel one way because the wind blows this way, and then the reality of my money getting cut is another, and then we'll see which way you dance. Somebody's Cujo says, I don't think Wesley Blake was a vet, but I got to I mean, I don't know fully. I don't want to say no, you might be right, but I'm pretty sure when they put Forgotten Sons together, they put it all over that they all were, if I remember correctly. Now that could be a work, but I don't see why you do that, because that would set you up for some stolen valor type shit, and that's a fight you do not want to fuck with. So, something else we don't want to fuck with is today's headlines, but there's plenty of them to get through. Great talk this morning, Stevie. If you want to catch up on my opinions, ignorant opinions on the Derek Chauvin trial and sentencing, Big Ray and I had a very, very interesting and intense 30-minute conversation to kick off the Next Level review. I just kind of give my views, and so does Ray on that, but it was as great a conversation as this was this morning on things that are going on in our very strange world. But let's escape them and go to prowrestling.com and Wrestling Stink and look up all of the news that nobody wants to hear. Stevie, you ready, buddy?
I guess so. How's this an escape from anything?
Yeah, it's not. It's more torture, I guess.
It's like escaping Guantanamo for Guantanamo's next door new facility.
For Abu Ghraib. I made it out of Guantanamo, and now I'm in Abu Ghraib. Sweet. Oh, shit. One that I got up here already. We'll get through it. Damian Priest talks about what they said to him when he came back through the curtain at WrestleMania from his Bad Bunny match. He says, when I got to the back, one of the first people to grab me and hug me was Triple H. He said, this is what I wanted for you. I knew you could do this. Him, Stephanie McMahon, Vince, Bruce, Pierce, all came up to him right immediately afterward, and everybody had nice things to say, congratulating him and being genuinely happy for me and having the moment and it working out so well. That got me to where I had to talk and walk away. All I could say is, I need a second, guys. There's too many emotions happening right now. Priest mentioned how he wasn't sure what Vince would think of him once he was called up to Raw from WWE NXT. He said he's not had a ton of interactions with the chairman yet, but he won him over and earned the stamp of approval on the grandest stage of them all. He says, is this what you wanted? He usually smiles and says, yes, thank you. Priest said, so far, so good. I mean, I guess that's a good thing he hadn't had to tell me too much. I can speak to one instance where he wanted to be careful of how I was very animated. He said, be careful not to be too animated. Save it. So man. But WrestleMania Game Hug says, like I said, with Game. And he teared up from it. But then on Raw, he goes 2-on-1 with Miz and Morrison. And Maurice causes the distraction, because he's everyone's so distracted by Maurice, and he loses. So Damian Priest can't win without Bad Bunny, the technical master of wrestling, Bad Bunny.
I just think it's great that they ask him about the Bad Bunny match. It's not even his match at WrestleMania. I know Punk can be very polarizing, but every time I hear the hug and the pat on the back and the attaboy, I think back to his interview with Cabana to Vince, where he said, fuck you, pay me. That's what you do when you come back, when they tell you how great you did at WrestleMania. Fuck you, pay me. They just might, like, God damn.
Who said that to him? Did Cabana say that to him?
No, because Vince, they had an argument he was on Cabana's podcast, the one that got him sued. Oh. And remember, they were talking about WrestleMania and the match he had with Taker and all this stuff. And he goes, Vince wouldn't admit that it was like the best match on the card, or it was like the one that, you remember the conversation, I'm paraphrasing it, but he's like, God damn it, you had that's what he said. You had the best match on the show. And he's like, fuck you, pay me. Like, pay me like I was the main event, or that was a main event, but It wasn't. Right. Vince, like, every match is a main event. But that's the kind of thing that's currency to them, and it's cool to be complimented. It's cool to be, but man, when it's WrestleMania and then you're looking 3 months later and you're like, you know, it might seem like a lot of money, but man, I got $2,000 to be on WrestleMania in a full stadium before COVID. And
Right.
like, wow, I worked the entire week you have to work the entire week
Yeah.
during these matches for hours each day now and meet. It's not just showing up. It's a lot of stuff during the week that you got to do. And it's probably more rehearsed now. Back then it was like, my God, they're spending an entire hour in the ring to rehearse this match for 2 days. Like to me, that was like, I was like, damn, what a waste of time.
We've got to choreograph these goddamn dancing bunnies. One-eared goddamn dancing bunnies. Shout out to Heartnet. Corey Graves talks about WrestleMania 37 with Michael Cole's botch at the end on Saturday night. He said when we saw him call the finish the Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks match wrong, Cole incorrectly stated that Sasha Banks had kicked out, which wasn't the case. However, Corey Graves has defended Cole on After the Bell. He said if there's anybody that's truly unshakable, it's Michael Cole. Cole felt bad. He felt terrible, but I can relate. I almost thought the same thing from our vantage point. It wasn't crystal clear. I'm not making excuses because it is what it is. It didn't take anything away from that amazing moment. It was reality. It was very genuine and real reaction taken into consideration. Yes, we have the monitor. Yes, we have audio in our headphones. We're also in a stadium full of 20,000 people. Any wrestler's book that you've ever read says being in a stadium is very different because it takes a second for the sound to get there and come back before anyone can truly register. I wasn't sure myself. Hey, it's the main event of WrestleMania. People have kicked out of each other's finishers 35 times already tonight. Why would this be any different? It was a genuine shock. So everyone leave Michael Cole alone. And there was even more botches this week already in Cole's commentary. Shivani doesn't even care about calling moves what they are. This week's Botchamania buries them bad. And I'm not even heating on Cole here. This is Graves trying to work, and I like how Graves gets his shit, and he really knows how to fucking tune up the internet a little bit. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't have 35 falsies. Let's save that for the main. And then the second part of that is you should know when the finish is coming because we've walked through everything 65,000 fucking times. And then the third thing is, why the fuck are you kicking out of the finish on WrestleMania? Like the heat's on Sasha. You go the fuck out and she goes over strong because we got a maker right here and you lay out. Instead, it's roll out, smile, she beat me. Just like there's 3 wrong parts in this finish. Announcers not knowing what the finish is and where it's coming and how they call the match. The fucking girls kicking out on it. And the bullshit of we couldn't hear, we got it backwards that way. There's just like nobody's prepared and the performers in ring are doing things wrong.
Well, in theory, you should let the commentators know something about the finish, but in theory, it's kind of good in a way that, was that the finish? It wasn't. It at least gives some sort of spontaneity, except, because everything else is scripted so much. Now, can they pull it off? That's the whole thing. Michael Cole, I said it on Russo 2 this week. If you remember the Mad TV skit with Louis Anderson, who was like, let's play a feud. Like, he's all like, oh, somebody call me. Like, I don't know. That sounds like sounds like a mix between Louis Anderson and the guy from Family Guy. Oh, hey.
Well, they're pretty close.
But that's Michael. Anytime you're doing that for that long and that lunatic is screaming in your ear and you're getting ribbed and hazed and they probably do stuff. Yeah, they probably do stuff to make his job even harder, not easier. Look at Mauro Ranallo.
Sure.
They probably nobody know if the commentators all treat it the same way. But Michael Cole, it's interesting, just on a side note, how long does he have left there? Because I'm seeing a lot. I even saw pictures from WrestleMania, like behind the scenes where, by the way, Sami Zayn, don't smile for the camera. Do this. That's a way to keep your gimmick strong. He's just smiling. Like he's totally happy. So
I think Cole's got as long as the CIA says he does.
Well, that's a good point. A good maybe theory on that. What I mean is I'm looking at backstage and you have Jason Jordan, you have Adam Pearce, you have it's a youth movement all around, from management to wrestlers, obviously, and until Goldberg comes back and the Taker again. But the commentary is getting shaken up too. So I'm wondering if they're going to make Cole a producer of some sort for that. I mean, think about it. Howard Finkel was the best announcer in the history of any company.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need to be seen, but he was looking old on camera, so they replaced him with a younger girl. Like, Howard's voice is all that matters.
Right.
Ever since that guy got taken off TV, and God bless him, rest in peace. I don't know, whatever atheist version of what, ashes to ashes, I guess.
Dust to dust, baby. Yeah.
But what would you rather do? Like, Cole's just burnout. Cole might need to go to NXT to get reinvigorated, to like really be excited again, if it's even possible. But think about it, a difference between a Mauro Ranallo, or what's the other guy on MLW who's doing boxing?
Oh, Ray Flores.
Yeah. McAfee sounded more like a big fight announcer than Cole, and this was his first night doing it.
Pat McAfee thinks that he stunk on WWE commentary in his debut. He says there was no real sit down like, hey, you can expect this. I had no clue it was going to happen at all that night. No clue. I do believe that this is the plan going forward, just to keep me out of the blue. If so, I had an absolute blast. I don't think that I was anywhere near what I can get to as a commentator for pro wrestling. I use a lot of words over and over. I was scared to have too much bass in my voice because I didn't want people to think I was trying to dominate the call, but sometimes I sounded too soft. The standing, my natural instinct is to stand when something happens. I guess a lot of people didn't enjoy that. Well, fuck them. That was great. I put that in there. I appreciate that because that was potentially something that could get me into some shit. A lot of people say you need to stay. The clip of us coming back to the too hot of me standing and Michael Cole sitting, and me being caught in a situation where I'm like, I don't know if I should stand or sit right now. That was an ad-lib moment that popped up and is incredible. I had a blast. I think I stunk, but I have a chance to get better. I enjoyed it, and I'm very thankful to all the people in WWE who want, and anybody who tuned in. This is what a professional athlete does. When I say people don't I don't watch my matches, or I don't watch my own movies. What? Well, how the fuck are you supposed to get better? This guy's uber critical of even the bass in his voice or whatever. And I get with the standing, I like it because that brought excitement where everyone else has mailed it in for so fucking long. But from a worker's standpoint, if that dude's already a draw from the NFL and he's standing up, workers could get jealous. And I don't even think they would, but I don't know if I would have pulling focus. Like, people think that pulls focus from the match and da-da-da, but we're in a TV scenario. So just show them for a quick second. You don't have to keep it there, but I could see the heat coming down, being like, you can't stand up. The boys are going to get hot at you that you're pulling focus and going into business for yourself. And they make him paranoid. And that's why he's got to release this fucking statement instead of going, fuck you, bro. I'm more over than wrestling. Wrestling sucks right now. Let's do something different. And if they're worried about me standing up and they get one shot of me, then that means they fucking suck in the ring and they can't hold focus either. If me standing up for 2 seconds on commentary is enough to shake them out of their professional boots, they need to go back to the drawing board, not me. But they're already in McAfee's head right here. You can see it, and the little wrestling paranoia is creeping its way in.
I'm shaking my head at that kind of thought, which is absolutely true. He's already now criticizing himself is what a professional does. He wants to be that way. By the way, the old man, the lunatic, wasn't there, so he could have been yelling at him, "Sit the fuck down, sit down," like, But Pat McAfee at his worst, if he did indeed stink, which he didn't, it's still 100 times better than any other commentator they've had in the past 10 years outside of Jay. He's already up there with JR, Lawler, Ventura, dare I say Vince. Mm-hmm. He brought that big fight feel. I'm leaving out Mauro Ranallo and other people, but I'm just saying the people that most people know. Stop, Pat. If these people are going to get jealous, this is the thing I hate about pro wrestling. And I was no different than anybody else, but I had to catch myself, shake my head and go, what the fuck? I mean, you got to do better. You got to do better. That guy's proving how you're not doing better. That guy's in better shape. You need to get him. These things are fixable over time. But when you sit there and you create an atmosphere of this guy's so good, so we got to drive him out, or we got to make him, we got to make sure he's in check and doesn't want, quote, heat with us.
Right.
Well, goddamn, Pat, you became a multimillionaire almost technically overnight by getting heat and saying what people were afraid to say within the football industry. You talked about amphetamines. One of your most popular videos on YouTube is exposing amphetamine use within the NFL. I'm not a fan of, like I told you, I think I said it on Russo. I mean, I keep going back to that, but it was really one of our best episodes of both of those things, covering these things. Pat McAfee, like I said, nobody's a role model. You should never look up or idolize anybody. But I look at Pat McAfee and I say, that's what I want us to be, either individually or together. I absolutely want to steal everything from Pat McAfee because that dude got it right and didn't sacrifice. And I'm going to go back a little further. This guy was so far ahead of his time. He was on the NFL Network, I remember, and did a guest spot, showed the same personality and everything. And those TV executives were so fucking stupid, you never saw him again. I was like, there's something to that guy. He was still playing too. They had it. The NFL Network had it and said, nah, that's not what we're used to. Wrestling has it now. Wrestling has
clueless producers who fucking don't hire the right people.
Well, we've met some of them firsthand.
Yeah.
But this guy is better than your product. So your product should come up to his standards. Don't drag him down. And by the way, I said it and I'm standing by it. You think he's a mark. You think he's just coming in because I'm a wrestling fan. This is a boyhood dream and blah, blah, blah. Pat McAfee has it in his mind that this is a stepping stone, an audition tape, a way to sharpen his skills for Fox NFL Sunday. That's his goal, not your show. That's his goal. That's why he picked SmackDown, because he can go to the Fox NFL affiliates and commentate games, or be on Fox NFL Sunday or a halftime show next to Bradshaw, Strahan, Howie Long, and I think they have Tony Gonzalez on there.
I want him with DC, Joe Rogan at UFC too, man. Like that, when you see DC and Rogan react when somebody gets hit with something, that's exactly what McAfee was doing. Yeah, that's exactly what McAfee did it on. He goes, Cole, what was that? And Cole actually had to call the movie. He goes, that was a sunset flip power bomb during Zayn and Owens. And he's like, that's the greatest move I've ever seen. And like, you know, for them, it's like sunset flip power bomb, kick out one, boom, we'll go on to the next thing.
But that's the thing. Why are you not have guys grabbing each other? Did you see that fucking thing?
Yeah, like that's what it should be. Like, you know, so everyone's going to put heat on them because they want to break them, when the reality is they should be embracing them and going, I want that excitement when I hit a fucking clothesline, bro. Please sell my clothesline like you sold that, because it's going to only get me over. But everyone just wants to fucking play the little politics game and do their dumb shit. So, Pat, I'm glad you're critical of your performance, but you fucking smoked it, bro. And if anything, lean into it. Don't try and, oh, my voice was too big. You be you in the moment. In the moment is what you bring that WWE is lacking in every fucking segment with plotty, predicated bullshit. You are the spark and the light for the viewers at home to be living that live experience, because otherwise we're just going through the motions. I watched on Botchamania, they closed. It was so funny, sad, poignant. It's just a little cutout square of Samoa Joe with the fucking poncho on, standing in the rain. It just says Samoa Joe's last WWE appearance, bro. And I'm like, that's so apropos. It's fucking sickeningly perfect, dude. And that's no heat on Joe. That's just show how shitty of a fucking.
Oh, I think we're gonna, if Joe wants to and has it in him, I think we're gonna see. I think I actually should do him and MJF and AEW and do a long ass thing with him trying to get to that guy.
Yeah,
that's a whole year right there, just off of the security guard thing.
Well, they'd shotgun it in 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, tonight Samoa Joe debuts. Later on tonight, Samoa Joe wrestles. Later on in the second hour, Samoa Joe loses his first match.
Yeah, and there's 3 run-ins on
The
each.
streak is over.
Every segment last night had a run-in on it at the end. Every match.
I always hey, it's sports based, man. I've seen lots of people. I've seen people like the Patriots were playing the Dolphins one time, and one of the Dolphins players was disguised as the first down marker judge and hit Brady over the head. I mean, that was a hell of a finish. Didn't you remember that?
It was good. I liked. My favorite was when the Raiders showed up at the Broncos game at the end when they were fucking celebrating and beat the shit out of all of them.
Do you think it was better, or do you think their tweet when they say "I can breathe" for 2021, which was worse?
Everything is fucking terrible, bro. And this probably is too why Charlotte Flair was quote unquote indefinitely suspended after Raw. Charlotte Flair is currently off TV because she reportedly needed to have some dental work done. Why did she fight Shayna Baszler? As noted on Monday Night Raw, WWE official Adam Pearce announced after Raw that Flair had been fined $100,000. Wow, that must have been like 10 leg slaps, and suddenly suspended indefinitely following the attacks on referee Eddie Orengo. Flair attacked Orengo multiple times after Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley interrupted her main event with Asuka, which led to Asuka getting the win. In an update, WWE did the suspension angle with Flair because she needed to get some dental work sorted out. There's no word yet on when Flair will return from the storyline suspension, but it was noted she is not expected to miss much time from the dental work. Flair has been rumored to face Asuka and Ripley in the triple threat at WrestleMania Backlash. Now they're calling Backlash WrestleMania Backlash on May 16th, but that's not been confirmed. So yada yada yada. As they try and work this thing, I don't have a
SummerSlam before SummerSlam.
It'd be the Great Balls of Fire. We're going to SummerSlam.
The road to SummerSlam with $4 a gallon gasoline. How's that?
Yeah, fucking I'll be hitchhiking there soon. But yeah, dude, Charlotte's back as a heel, fighting Rhea Ripley as a heel. Fiance leaves in a huff. Fake pregnancy results. Her giving blowjobs at Rio Republica Dominican on fucking camera, dude, and then coming back with even more Botox and trying to save storylines that were only written to get her father a paycheck that was botched too by more pregnancies. So just really as bad as it could be probably for her. I don't know if Britt Baker's doing her teeth and they're part of the cool kids club or what's going on. I really don't care too much, but heat on the ref. You're going to be, how is this ref going to get fucking reciprocity? He's not going to go and align himself with Rhea Ripley, who's also a heel. So now we're just beating down refs and for a suspension angle. That's the best we can get. But instead of putting heat on Rhea and taking her out, do something that's a fucking blaster in the mouth that's safe, and she's got to get her teeth on. Now it's just Charlotte heating on refs. How does that make any fucking sense?
Do fans go, ooh, they got fined $100,000? This is so, like, this is old school Memphis. Like, do you really think anyone believes that you're fined $100,000? And if you are, you should turn around and be like Honky Tonk Man and say, yeah, it just takes off my adjustable gross income anyway, and that's donated to charity. So what do I care? You know, that's what NFL does when they find somebody. But man, we got to get out of these tired old tropes of $100,000 fines, indefinite suspensions. Just say something else. Like, you got to say something else.
Heels need heat. Like,
do you think they realized they had two heels fighting each other and said, "Oh,
I don't think they did."
And these teeth were knocked out, right? And knocked out a couple times. And I had the Chris Masters thing, and I still really wasn't allowed to take any time off to get them fixed. I had to do it on my off days.
So
I'm just saying, like, you know,
return.
I got a doc. She's got a doctor's appointment. She'll be out for 3 weeks. She couldn't make Raw. She had a doctor's appointment. She couldn't reschedule.
No, good. She had to go back to Dominican, finish her work. Chris Adonis feels he's actually Chris Masters feels he's been exiled from a potential WWE return. Stevie, NWA National Champion Chris Adonis, better known as WWE run as Chris Masters, was interviewed by Chris Van Vliet recently. All the Chris's. The two discussed Adonis' former employer.
You realize that was all one word. I don't know what that was.
He was interviewed by Chris Van Vliet, all the Chris's. Is that what it was? The two discussed, it's weird because I don't have a glitch thing popping up. So sorry, guys. The two discussed Adonis' former employer, and while he won't dismiss a potential WWE return, he doesn't see it as being in the cards. He says, I'd love to come back for a Royal Rumble or something like that. I mean, never say never. I feel they could potentially reach out at some point, but I'm kind of at the point where I feel like I've been exiled to a certain point. We've seen it happen in the past. Like I say never. They could reach out. I've just taken some time off my list of goals at this point. I'm focusing on NWA and my education. It would be an exciting thing, but when you have been reached out to at that period of time, it feels like that's it. Adonis's finishing move, the Master Lock, has seen a resurgence recently, but it's being used by both AEW's Preston Vance and current WWE champion Bobby Lashley. He revealed he has no problem with others using the move, especially Lashley. He says, I've talked to MVP about this, and it only makes sense. If anybody is going to use a full Nelson, the guy who broke it and a guy who has the physical force like Bobby Lashley, it only makes sense. Hurt Lock, Master Lock, whatever. It's a full Nelson. It's been around since the beginning of wrestling. Obviously we want to talk about your Chris Masters first experience, but I've worked
him back in the good graces if he does it today.
Him back over. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's in LA now or not. Last show I worked with him was that backyard show. I was working on that Yarder show with Chris Masters, Cole Cabana, and fucking every other guy that they could pay to bring in there. Announced by the Toronto Raptors announcer, had Canada's fastest man from the Olympics on it as well, a bunch of other stars, but it was a backyard show. Tickets were only $400. So he and I had a good time having a smoke, having a drink there and talking shit, but he was moving from Toronto to LA. So that's the last I know, but I'm glad he's got a spot in NWA. I would bring him back if you got the Hurt Lock and the Master Lock and the guy looks fucking phenomenal. That's a great get over guy for even if it's a one-off, or, for a quick 4-week run to get that little heat and put Lashley over and do Master Lock versus Hurt Lock.
Why not? I mean, what are they? I don't know. There's no fans right now, so I don't know about the investing money to bring guys back to try to draw and do whatever. Maybe they're just coasting through. But that would put him right in line with Lashley. And unless he's coming for a one-off, or if Lashley starts the Hurt Lock challenge, that could be something interesting.
Right.
But this is where you say, like, okay, this is really easy to do. This guy has a history. We got footage of him. We can replay the Stevie footage. We'll throw him a little royalty check for his trouble. See how I slipped that in there. But to them, they look at it like we just said about McAfee. Instead of saying, wow, we can do this and it'll really build up Lashley. We got all this investment in Chris Masters. If we bring him back, even if it's just a thing where he loses to Lashley, but then we have something with this kid for the next couple of years. They're like, no, that's too good for Chris Masters. It's a fake subjective business. You can make it anything you want.
A finish can be anything. You just have to fucking sell it and make it believable.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, just Billy, well, that's too good for him. Like, well, it wasn't too good for him when he came in. What changed your mind? Mm-hmm. He's better now. He's cleaner now. He's always been a good dude. So what's the problem? Because he's not a fuck up. You can't say we're better than him. Look at that. We're giving charity. Like, whatever, man.
He should just send him the footage of fucking you over, and he'll be right back in.
Like, what? Try to green screen it and say, I just did this like in California on the beach.
Oh man, y'all. But yeah, man. Masters still looks incredible and has plenty of punches left on his bump card, and that's an easy story to tell. The fucking full Nelson fight for it story, bro. That'd be great. And he looks good. Someone said, how tall is he face to face? I've stood next to them both, and I think Masters and Lashley are probably eye to eye because I'm a little taller.
Both not as tall as Russo.
No, neither of them are. No. Somebody who says he is tall and he's gonna fight like hell to get like no other to return to the ring is the limitless one, Keith Lee. Maybe he was off television for a while, but he stated he's gonna fight like no other to get back on TV. I miss you guys as well. All others express this sentiment, whether in DMs, tweets, or comments. I miss you all. But do not fret. I will fight like no other to return. And when I do, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Hashtag Legion. Now, is this going to hurt him? Because he's going into, oh, you're going to come back? You're going to fight like hell? What does that mean? Well, let's see if you lose 40 or 50 pounds. Let's see if you stop doing whatever it was you want to. Let's see if you do the change. It seems like, is this guy motivated, or are they in his head, or is he trying to send a message to the office and then they'll go, oh yeah, you're on the shelf for 3 more months? I'm not sure here. I think these types of tweets are dangerous when you claim you're going to do something, and that's a challenge back to them where they'll go, we'll see. And if he doesn't lose 40 pounds where he's undeniable in size and doesn't have the gut and whatnot, so Vince wants to use him again as a new favorite toy. Otherwise than that, could spell disaster when you set yourself up for these things because you're not playing the political game the right way.
But why? What you brought him on TV looking like that? The work is one thing, the selling and not being a big guy, not playing to his size is another. But you brought this guy who looks like a monster, walks through an airport, as Vince would say. You notice this guy, he's big. He's a huge guy. He's got to be a wrestler. Vince loves that. And whether he has a six-pack or not, I'm just saying, yeah, getting in shape is good, but bringing him up thinking, like Vince had said, you brought me to this point. I'm good enough to be in the WWE. Then as I'm here, you're telling me I'm not good enough to be. That's the problem with the infrastructure of the entire system.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not Keith Lee's fault that they told him he was that good all along, only to tell him that, oh, by the way, you're on the main stage now. We're going to point out every flaw you have. That's what NXT is for. So that way, when you get moved up, you're there. They create a path for failure rather than a path for success.
And they set him up for success in the first one with Brock just selling for him as he walks down to the ring. He got him over without ever touching. So they put that there, and he
won against Randy Orton in his opening match. So once again, we debut, we win, then it's all downhill until we give you your vignette a year later, because I'll have vignettes this time. And I just saw a thing that he's posing with Mia Yim, his fiance, with like an engagement photo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that they won't put them both together and bury both of them.
And Mia Yim is in incredible shape, but is that another reason why fucking retribution is done? Because she's supposed to be a badass Antifa. Meanwhile, she's saying, don't call us terrorists and shit like that on her own social media. And then in the next breath, she's fucking being Mrs. Keith Lee. So now you've ruined and that's a girl who could have come from Impact and debuted on the main women's roster as Mia Yim and gotten the fuck over. Now she's bastardized in a shitty angle. She's going to SmackDown to start over again. And yeah, that was last week.
I thought they put them together and maybe put Miz and Maurice over on them. That's what I saw maybe happen.
Slapjack and her are going to Wesley Blake are going to fucking SmackDown, I guess.
I'll leave him back if he can't get that over.
So we'll see how they fuck with him based on these social media.
He's a good guy. I've been around her a few times. She's a nice girl. These are good people. So what they're doing or the way they are, even though the Twitter stuff can be a little bit much, and that's why I'm not on there, and his name's Hopeful Lee. So these are things they do see, and this is selling for them. But in the normal world, when you're wanting to come back to work and you really love what you do and all that stuff, more times than not, you will advance in these fields. in wrestling, when you truly love what you do and you put everything into it, and they're hitting each other in the side with their elbows, going, "Oh, we got one on the line now. Let's ruin them."
They
We don't
even
care about making money.
All it takes is this look, right? That's all it takes is got them fucking, and where we're going from there. Let me see. Just because we were talking the Twitter thing,
got a real good taste of how much of a family they are. There at WWE.
He loves it, Johnny boy, but I like having him there myself. So we talked about this on Russo brand. I'm going to play this so we can get this whole show flagged and taken down.
Vince's doll on
no, this is another one. Tucky reflects on his time with WWE. Quote, "I learned so much." Instead of reading all this, I'm just going to play it at Real Levi Cooper. If you want to go follow Tucker from Otis and Tucker Heavy Machinery, who was just future endeavored. So we talked about, and Vince goes, "Why the fuck, bro? Why are people thanking The Office after you just got fired? Why? So you can play the political game to leave the door open and da-da-da." Like, and this is all part of the weird chess match of I've been fired and now I have to thank everyone so I can leave the door open and do good business, that hopefully possibly suck dicks to come back again, only to be abused and possibly misused and fired again. Best time of my life. So here we go.
You know, the weekend has come and gone, and I've had a chance over these last few days to do some reflecting. And so I want to take this time to say thank you.
Shut that goddamn dog up.
Men and women who made my time in WWE a more enjoyable experience. You know, the men and women of the locker room, so many incredibly talented individuals doing so many great things. I learned so much from you guys, and I appreciate it. And the men and women in the production side, behind the cameras and the lights and the microphones and setting up and tearing down the rings and the monitors.
God damn it, that dog!
I had a show, and it wouldn't even be an ounce of what it is without all the time, effort, and dedication that you guys put in and week out behind the scenes. And I learned a lot from you as well. So thank you. To upper management, even though we maybe didn't see eye to eye on everything, you guys gave me an opportunity to do something that I love and to provide for my family.
Who's that fucking kid in the back?
So thank you. And finally, I want to say that moving forward, I don't know exactly what the future holds for Levi Cooper, but I do know this. I am infinitely excited to use the lessons and skills that I developed while in WWE over these last 7 years and apply them to whatever it is moving forward. And lastly, I want to say, guys, I hope you have a great week. Happy Monday. Keep grinding.
What was that fist again? Was he the guy? He was the guy against the plexiglass.
He was the guy.
Dude, that sounded so... I'm sure he's a nice guy, but that was the NXT promo level. Like I know he's not going to get as much hate as when I gave people advice after I got released, but still, that was bad, dude. And that's a Stockholm syndrome type thing.
Oh yes, I'll tell you what's next is moving out of that gated community cul-de-sac, because the checks ain't going to be coming to fucking do that. Other part. Thanks everybody but the fans, the people who he should be putting over his new pro wrestling store, tees.com store. He should be putting over where he's booked with Big Time Wrestling. He's already been talking about getting on the road. He's excited. None of that shit for the future. This is all to fucking leave it open for everybody who loved Tucky. And I can't believe they let one of the good ones go again. You know what I mean? Oh boy, dude, I feel bad for these guys that they're like this, dude. At management, I know we didn't see eye to eye, but I thank you. I thank you for fucking investing in me.
Well, here's the thing. Angelo Andrews said, and I've said this before, whenever you're tweeting somebody back and forth or you're commenting on Facebook or why not just call or text those people? I did that. Not that I was a big social media person anyway, or felt like I needed to have my story heard.
Here's the big thing. Media M5's on it. Like, as soon as he got released, he goes, I can't wait to tell my story, which somebody is probably going, you called him, bro, you better not say what the fuck really went on, because what if it's Otis? And he goes like, dude, I'm on the push. You're going to fuck me over if you fucking come out and start doing it. I'm going to get heat by association. There is no big story. There's a big fucking, double fucking fisted, suck them off, fake, insincere promo, bro.
Do you like my Vince McMahon as Vince was watching the video?
I love it. Shut, God damn it, Declan, shoot that dog.
But I've been in those things with Vince when someone was showing him something. He goes, I can't get past that fucking noise in the back. Shut that noise off. Like, how you're showing a video, how are you going to shut the background noise off of somebody talking?
Right.
But they'll try to do it for him.
But that's the thing, Tucky didn't know that background noise in his apology or in his thankful for being fired video is actually going to close the door, because he didn't have the wherewithal to make sure it was a closed set before he shot that. So
I go, look, there's a wire. Can I get a clean shot here? God, man. You know what, dude? It happens. Like, I'm sure when I got released, especially if I didn't have the history of ECW and what I would do, they showed what I was capable of doing. This guy hasn't really on a national stage been able to show what he's able to do. So let's not judge his talent or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, there were still people like, oh God, that guy still had a job, or this guy, oh, about time. He was hiding under the the tables and stuff and trying not to get fired. And they didn't know all the stuff I was doing there. But I was nothing until I went to TNA and got reinvented as Dr. Stevie on a much smaller stage.
Mm-hmm.
That opportunity, this guy might have to eat financial shit for 6 months to a year, like Drew and other people did, to really just, dude, it's going to take a good 6 months or a year of continued exposure of whatever your new character will be in order to just get that stuff mostly forgotten from WWE. Then it'll all start to turn around.
Yeah. Here's what I wanted to put back to you, though. Like, this brainwashing or whatever it is that is there, whatever part of the chess match this fucking video has to be. I've seen this with other dudes who got released last year. I'll say it. I don't give a shit, because I love the dude and I'm not talking bad about him. But let's say Ascension, right? Connor and Victor. I've known Victor APOC for 15 years. In my opinion, should have been the next Undertaker. Better than Aleister Black in a lot of ways in the dark mythic stuff, and could have been. They get released post WrestleMania, and then COVID hits. Boom. So they, like the rest of us, I had bookings just as indies lined up from March to July. All those are gone. Now they're sitting on the shelf for a full year. We're both booked on this big time show that's later in August. That's the first ones I've seen from them. But they're in Florida sitting there doing what for the last year, bro? And I told Pac, because he's down with, he loves Danzig. He loves all the metal stuff. They got to meet a lot of his heroes once he became WWE, anything along those lines. Why isn't APOC or, Rick Victor the new Ricky Rackman of some fucking heavy metal, show that's hosted that way? He's got the connections to do it. Instead, what have we seen from him this year? Nothing. And he's been at his beautiful house in Florida with his, fiance and living a life off of whatever. But you want to stay creative. B, you need to make money to pay for those fucking places. And C, now you're just going to go back to the indies in hopes that WWE or AEW picks you up based on the work that you're doing. And they absolutely should, with the Ascension, money written all over those fucking guys. But you're also now going to be competing with Tucky, with all these other dudes who just got released, instead of what they should have done in this time, which you and I have been doing, building our own brand and applying outside of our creative realm of wrestling, of what we want to do, whether it's conspiracy, fitness, management, digital editing, along those lines. That's a bigger part of this Stockholm syndrome of I'm not even going to go out and pursue my other interests and make my name on that, which is the best way to get back to WWE, is making yourself in another realm, because then they have to bring you back because you're undeniable. But
and you may not want to come back. Maybe that's part of the scary part. You get to a point where, is it even worth my time? And then you don't have the passion for it. That's a scary thing to think about. I mean, I can't remember a time where I was ever excited about wrestling, because there's moments, but I'm talking about my time. Like, I remember, okay, I like ECW, WCW was cool. Sometimes WWE was good. And then I had some stuff here and there, but I can't remember that feeling anymore. Does that make sense?
Could you call any excitement that you know on WWE roster right now? And even in the last 5 years, could we call anybody on WWE roster right now that we know from the last 5 years who's active and go, hey, dude, is this the best? Do you love working there? Is this the best time in your life? What is every reaction? It's like, oh, I know, dude. Like, it's just like they're beat and they don't give a shit. They hate it, but they're part of the roster, so they're over. I don't know one person except for maybe package Chris Sharp, who's a great NXT UK ref, who's pumped all the time to fucking work. Stefan Smith, the referee crew, I'd say. Guys I know from OVW, Stephen Smith and Stefan and fucking and Package are about the two main ones. But everybody I know on roster always acts like they've just been beaten and ground into the fucking dirt. And then they come back and say thank you and wait to be invited back without pursuing something that will truly make them happy in their lives when they have the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say what they're thinking right now. I'm sure it's the same thing. Like, I'm so far removed from it. That's what I mean. I'm so far removed from it. You can't hang on to them either. I hung on to it for a long time. So I'm not saying like, oh, the second I left, it was all good. It took years for me, and I'm still not sure exactly where I'm going. Like, for instance, I'll just give you the excitement. We're doing this show. We're talking about this stuff. I got a couple band sales, and I got an affiliate sale off Force USA. That's exciting. What a great start to the day. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff where when you start to see the fruits of that labor, where it's almost passive income because everything's been set up. As long as I keep creating the content, where I keep everything sharp, where I front load all the work with the band programs and make sure they're good to go, it's up there as long as I'll have them. Mm-hmm. So the 12-week program's been around for 5 years now. It's more than paid for whatever work I put into it, but it's still selling. These are the things that they have many more followers on every bit of social media they can convert into Victor, Connor, Tucky, anybody who's got released. No less than, talking about Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, who have done a decent job, but mm-hmm. I think they've still fallen short of really throwing the percentage too much into wrestling instead of trying to bridge the gap. This would be what I would tell people as I go to look at a house that I'm not even comfortable looking at with the price today. But I'm not comfortable not because I don't have the money and not because of this and that, but because I have a plan for investments and percentages that I want to put into different things. So it's a completely different stress. But in WWE, where I have absolutely no idea what it's going to cost me or what I'm going to do, all these different elements, and I see guys like week one buying Hummers like Davari and other people, and then other people I saw buying at that time $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses, and you're on a $75,000 a year downside for 3 years, and you took out a 30-year mortgage. Something doesn't add up. I would say your body's not going to hold up 30 years. Are you going to pay this loan off as quickly as possible? Like, no, it's cool. I know I'm good enough to assess. That's mistake number one, because it's not up to you, man. It's not up to you. And that's the advice I would give to them is live well within your means. Live as poor as you can.
But that's not what happens when you get there. Cool Kids Club. And where do you guys live? Oh, we live over here in this gated area in within 3 miles of each other.
Rent an apartment in a gated community or rent a home. Don't throw every bit of your money into that. Mm-hmm. Wrestlers are not exactly Does wrestling have a rookie symposium for financials and how to conduct yourself and do anything like that?
Mm,
Do they yet?
think so.
Okay. I'm sure they do, as far as they have social media meetings and other things that you should and shouldn't say. Why are they not having financial symposiums or how to make sure you have a college education or other things? Because you know why? They don't want the inmates to be too smart.
Right. They want to have a hold over you that way. So
keep them poor and stupid, just like the government says, right?
Yeah.
Keep them poor and stupid.
Well, I mean, Society Review's got it right here. EC3 is still paying for that condo. And it's going to be tough because EC3 reveals he's been hospitalized for the last 5 days. Ring of Honor star EC3 revealed on social media to fans he's currently in the hospital, has been for 5 days. He stated he'll need to be there for longer, adding hashtag controlling your narrative can kill you. He did also reveal that the reason for being in the hospital, stating that he had an infection, which he neglected, claiming that he's been putting other people's needs before his own. It doesn't say where the infection. He says, short version, I had infection and I neglected proper care for it. Put other people's needs before mine. Went straight empath, caught up to me and broke me. Long version, extensive. I've been hospitalized for 5 days and we need longer. Anyways, I will heal. If you want to drop a comment and thought or affirmation, please do not text. Please, all I ask, if you want to help let me be alone. So I don't know, let him sleep. I hear infection. I see a super jack guy, a guy I like and know, a Rip Rogers guy, a guy they've left millions of dollars on the table with. You want heel John Cena? There's heel John Cena, but we're not going to fucking make him. So, the guy can he has great delivery promos, great in-ring presence, totally gets it. Super jacked. Is this a site injection infection from too much B12?
It doesn't matter at this point. This guy's got to get better. He's got to get well an infection, and especially for if it's real or not. If there's a virus in the air and it's easily contagious in a hospital situation, and you have the number one killer in hospitals, from what I have researched, wasn't COVID over the past year. Blood infection. Blood infection kills a lot of elderly people, but a blood infection. What's that?
Sorry. Didn't Braun have a blood infection 2 months ago? Who's Braun's best friends?
EC3 and Drake Maverick.
And what kind of shape are they in right now?
Yeah, you're right. That's just gossip and speculation. But when this guy's in a hospital for over 5 days, hopefully a lesson gets learned too. And maybe every precaution, if that's the case, every precaution was taken, and it's just a matter of it was sealed, but it comes from China, the syringe or whatever, speculation. But I'm saying China supplies like 90% of our pharmaceuticals too. So it's not Mexico.
Syria will soon because they've got 60% enriched uranium, so they can.
Somebody put a comment on Steve Austin living in the double wide, which I will say right now, as far as housing, if the price disparity was that much, if I can get a good piece of land and get a couple double wides, put the gym in one, the house in the other, I would absolutely 100,000% do it.
Dude, double wide on a frame on your own land and put 60 grand into a fucking a pole barn facility. That's that's perfect for you.
Yeah. We looked at tiny homes. We looked at shed homes, but Sal sent me dome homes that are the easiest DIY ones. We're looking at that kind of stuff where you can actually take half the roof of a dome home and put a garden on it. It's pretty sweet shit, dude. We don't need the classic, suburbia type of bullshit. We want we can get solar panels. I can get Starlink from Elon Musk, but Sal loves that part. Get high-speed internet and all that stuff. We don't need a thing. We just need some animals, some garden, and that's it. And we got the guns, so can't go anywhere with my G9. My tummy tea commercial can't go anywhere without my Glock 19X. I actually am going to take one of those influencer pictures, 100%. Yeah. My wife keeps telling me not to. I want to stand in front of you saw my car before. So I want to stand in front of there. I'm going to be flossing. I'm going to be like, top 32 degrees cool, $4.99. Shorts, 32 degrees cool, $3.99. 2000. Our shoes, Goodwill, $6. Car, 2006 Honda Accord EXL, paid off. Hashtag influencer.
That's it, man. That's the reality of
I don't mean that to be a dick. I'm just like, I'm very proud of, like I asked her yesterday, I said, yeah, I know we're off topic. I said to my wife, because I basically have the same clothes all the time. I like these shirts. I like these pants and shorts. I like what I like. And I turned around and I said, you know, we walking in the houses and stuff. I go, am I like a piece of white trash? And she goes, no, you just like what you like. And I go, I said to her, I go, if it's embarrassing that I'm wearing basically the same stuff all the time, like I have a lineup of the same stuff, like a Steve Jobs type thing. Mm-hmm. I said, if it's embarrassing, and she goes, no, I love it. You don't care. And you concentrate on the stuff that really matters day to day. She goes, I like that you're just whatever, you know?
Give a shit about supporting getting the new Yeezys. Come on, we're flossing with $4.99 shirts and doing better work, man. You're way ahead of the game.
I hope somebody gets inspiration from that, because it really is it clears a lot of clutter up in your head and your life, and you're just like, what's it matter, man? I got shit to do. I don't care what I'm wearing.
Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, not that I don't want you to get the house if you like it today at that price, but that's not a bad way to go. The 5.8, buy the 5 acres, get the prefab double wide. They'll come in, drop it on a foundation, and then put up the 60 grand pole barn. You're going to get way more bang for your buck out of the fucking gate. People think that trailer park, dude, a prefab double wide is nothing more than a ranch house that they bring in now. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, another room for your studio.
You can go modular too. It's just the same stick built house. The problem is the prices have matched actual foundation homes with land now. Mm-hmm. So you're paying 200 grand for a mobile home. You might as well get one that's has the infrastructure already. That's the issue. Right. If it was a $200,000 difference, and we're talking about all in for under 100, I'd be like, there's no debate about this. I know what we're doing.
Let's see. Diana Perrazzo. Well, actually, we'll give this one. Chelsea Green admits she was shocked by her WWE release. I was actually totally shocked, said Green, not going to lie. I was totally shocked. I understand it. Why? I wasn't used, and of course, when I was used, then I broke my arm on the first night. I hate to laugh at that. So I was definitely shocked. And in previous years, when they've done the releases, I was expecting it more through those releases. I was kind of ready last year and times before, but this time I was very shocked because I know my potential in the company, and I know what I bring to the table, which is something different. Character work and acting skills and promo abilities, and that's something that I know I will thrive at when I'm able to show that. So yeah, I was totally shocked. Thankfully, I was given a little bit more of a heads up, a little warning. Hey, they're cutting people. So I was able to mentally prepare myself just in case, because I will say, if I hadn't got that text letting me know, I would have thought that the phone call was for my debut, and that would have been embarrassing. I'm so thankful that I was forewarned now. Wow, I was ready to debut, you know. They kind of say the same thing. Green confirmed that WWE's revolving door made clear that there wasn't a possibility for her to return, but she stressed that she's not that type of person to sit around and wait. Quote, they said, they kind of say the same thing every time, which is that WWE is a revolving door, So I just read that. But here's the thing, dude, and I'll put this out to you, that we can go back to can we use your pool with the Matt Cardona stuff and that heat that leaked over. Also her and Mickie James, who are both released. And I think both of these women are better than everyone else they have on their roster, Mickie James and Chelsea Green, for different reasons. Mickie, a phenomenal technician, a great personality, and the legacy of nostalgia, and still looks incredible. All of that going for her, and they definitely should have brought Magnus in, another huge miss. And then whatever they did with Bruce punishing her with the Oscar roll up and all that kind of bullshit. Chelsea Green and her are gal palin on Twitter, going back and forth, having fun like they should, and babyface and whatnot. But Chelsea Green, very sexy, has really been focusing on the bikini model, the hot chick, that's what she wants to be, and sporty and body's in perfect shape to be on camera. But here she says her money is in her promo, character, and acting skills. I agree with that 1000%, because my favorite character in the last decade, aside from myself, is is Chelsea Green with the Laurel Van Ness stuff, bro. The stuff she did in Impact was light years beyond anybody else's character work in any federation, any organization. But she's part of the cool kids club. So that means being sexy and being hot and OMG. And now she's just in the fold with the rest of them. Like there's nothing that makes her stand out. There's no
the Tommy T crew.
Yeah, there's no promo that she can do that's going to make her stand out. Broken Laurel Van Ness was incredible. And that's just because she was with Congo Kong, my other tag partner. Like, you know, that type of shit as the broken bride made her stand out behind everybody else. And she not only leaned into it, she committed to that bit 1000%. And that's what good acting and promo skills and takes of what she would do, freaked out or half drunk on champagne. We got none of that in WWE. And I pitched to her in DM the Karen thing, because I know she could get it over. Now Sue is doing that, Sue Young in Impact, but nobody's seeing it, and they aren't even doing the vignettes to really properly get that over. I like what Sue's doing with it, but that Karen angle that, you know, I'm not saying I'm any genius. Anyone could have taken that from World Star and put it on anybody. Sue can get it over, but so can, I think, Chelsea Green could have got that over to the next level in WWE, and a complete missed opportunity there, bro. That's a release that I think is based on, oh, you think you're this, that, or the other, and you didn't let us use our pool, and you're in public having fun with Mickie James. That's enough to say fuck you, and you're both gone.
They don't act right away, but they eventually do act off of that. And Vince had the same theory on that. Once the pool incident happened or didn't happen, and that was a test. That might have been them getting it in their head that we need a reason to do this in our mind. That way it's like a justifiable release. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, she was just hard to deal with, had a bad attitude. Remember that time at the pool? We tried to live with it for a year, but we could. What you really did was, let's let her forget about it and get comfortable. That would have been one that I thought would have came out of nowhere. Like, I thought she would have survived the WrestleMania releases. Then after 2 weeks of feeling comfortable, get her.
Yeah. Well, look at it. She thought she was coming back to do her big debut. So a babe in the woods.
You don't want them to call you for anything. I'd rather have them never call me than call me, because there's the 50-50. When Johnny Ace called me, I was like, ugh. By that time I knew he wasn't offering me a raise.
But she did. And I wouldn't doubt that if it was Mickie getting clipped first, then Mickie might have been the one to fucking smart.
They're doing releases. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man.
Here's a Hope Spot was wondering, is she going to hook up with Zelina Vega, Andrew Yang, and fucking Adriana or whatever the fuck her name is from 90210? I don't know.
They're planning. They're just biding their time.
But
wait until everybody gets released and there's no roster. Then they're ripe for the union.
Right. The union will rise. Deonna Purrazzo hopes Chelsea Green returns to Impact Wrestling again. Cool kids club, bro. They all live in a little fucking Florida 10-mile area.
They would never let me drive my 2006 Accord into their community.
And Deanna's a great wrestler, she's young and got released too for reasons I don't want to really go into to expose her own business of rumors that I heard, from NXT. But there was things there that were young people mistakes of, you worked your ass off on the indies and was trained by Damian Adams to get there. Rip Rogers style. You understand wrestling. Very great technical, very beautiful. Gear looks good. But when it comes to playing the political game or, being part of that club, they don't know how to fabe it. And that's what ends up biting them in the ass. So they get all the way there. And Deonna Purrazzo should be on WWE main roster now, but she's not for whatever reason, heat backstage in NXT. So Would there be good matches with Chelsea Green and Peraza? Yeah, but these are all the girls who go get coffee together. Iconics, Spears and fucking Matt and Cardona, and we're all going to Ricochet's for the fucking party, and these guys from AEW will be there, and we're all going to post selfies. All of this is seen.
This sounds terrible. That all sounds terrible to me. That sounds like that all happens way past my bedtime.
But it all happens, bro. And then all goes on Instagram, and that's what kills them in the end.
Okay. So what kills them on Instagram is what they're sharing. Now, if they work matches and angles on TV, you're killing it before it's even done, before it even starts. Part of what I go to like an Edge and Matt Hardy and Lita thing back when that happened. They did good business, but it was based on some real shit, and it was brought into the wrestling, universe. This is, we're friends, but we're going to get in the ring and we're going to pretend to fight and pretend we hate each other. And then we take a picture afterwards, your famous Royal Rumble picture that you like so much. It's just, it's too nice. I mean, dare I say all of sports, there's no rivals there's no Lakers and Celtics, or Celtics and Bulls, or Lakers and Bulls, or Eagles and the Cowboys, or Eagles and the Red. They claim, oh, we still hate them, don't worry. But it's not like, it's so clean and business and not personal. Or in this case, it's so personal. When you're trying to make a personal issue, you're like, I don't believe it. I don't care. This kind of stuff is the reason why. When you have that tension of what's this going to be like, and guys weren't familiar with each other all that much. There was very much clicks, but you wouldn't book the clicks against each other. I mean, Vince was a little smart about that. He would so often, if somebody wanted to work, if Taker wanted to work with one of his guys or whatever, that's fine. But they didn't have social media where they were hanging out drinking afterwards. Those pictures surfaced 20 years after the picture was taken.
Right.
Think about that. These are 20 seconds after the match.
This is in real time on IG Live. Blowing it off, dude. Laurel Van Ness, Chelsea Green, tons of talent character-wise. I hope she gets away from I want to be just another sexy bikini. I mean, it's her goal to be in Sports Illustrated swimsuit this year. Awesome. I say do it, and that'll be a great milestone for you if that's something you want to accomplish. But your money is in deranged characters, in being a sexy girl who doesn't give a fuck about it and is willing to lean into something else and commit to the bit. She has a real talent there and something that is teachable, but she's got it naturally. That's just how it is. But you'll see it. You'll see. And shout out to the Major Brothers, man. Like, I know people have seen like Hannibal shit on them for whatever experience. Every exchange I ever had with the Majors, or Hawkins and Ryder, Cardona and Myers, whatever you want to call them, has been A+. They didn't have to do business for the Insurgency on the way out of OVW. They did. They didn't have to come to me to like ask for help with the Edge twin magic thing they did. They did, and I wasn't anybody at that time. They're very cool guys who are into the business and have a love for it since college and high school together. So whatever I've heard from other people about them, that's never been my experience with either of those fucking dudes. So, but at the end of the day, it's only going to take, and D'Amour's there, and he knows what Chelsea Green's capable of. So I don't think it's going to be like, hey, get my girl in here. She was Impact before he was. So I don't think there's going to be that like buddy favor type thing there, dude. She's a property where there's money written on her, and it'd be foolish to not bring her back to Impact.
And they're cat lovers, so let's not discount.
Are they? Okay.
They are cat lovers, so I don't need to hear anything else. Take my money.
Well, there's one thing too, and I don't want to bear, because I like Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison too. Both have been very awesome people. But now they got her as Frankie Monet, and
they couldn't even call her like a Marilyn Monroe type thing.
It's bad. It's the classic, we're gonna break you, and it doesn't matter how over you are, But she comes to the ring with their Pomeranian, and as a dog lover, I just don't like that because I thought about doing that too. And Al would tell me how fucked up Pepper was all the time and scared and pissing on itself. And like, then I was talking to somebody else on an indie show. I can't remember. It might've been Mickey even at 2CW. And she's like, no, don't bring dog. Cause I thought about Haminie coming out with Obazo Bin Chompin', but he's a nervous little fucker to start with. And the trauma's too much when you march him out there. She said she's seen it go real bad. So I just, as a dog and animal lover too, man, like I'm like, fuck, don't. They had the little stuffed Pomeranian thing on Impact as a ongoing joke with Johnny Bravo. Now they got the real dog, and I just like, I'm not down with seeing that. And what they did to Matilda in the 80s, bro, all the stories giving her pills, coke, hitting her with fucking gas and like jacking up the dogs. Like wrestlers, a lot of them, maybe not in today's world, but in that 80s world were shitty ass people and didn't give a fuck about that. And I just think animal rights wise, I'm not really down with having live dogs and shit on TV.
Wrestling is very lucky to get away with the shit they even get away with today, even being as careful. You don't think PETA, if the wrong person at PETA saw her bringing a real dog to the ring where they have people screaming? I mean, come on, dude. We know that. I mean, I would never. I've even watched Teddy Hart, which he looks like he loves the cats, but when he'll bring the cat to the ring and stuff, I'd be like, oh, please don't. Maybe not even him, but just the situation of the cat running in the crowd, some idiot fan kicking the cat, or you don't know what can happen. I mean, these animals are supposed to be sheltered and protected and given, you know, you're supposed to make them feel as safe as possible.
Yeah.
So I know it's not her. They probably, what's that?
Yeah, if you love him, like you say you do, you don't want to stress him. Now she had him in the ring in her arm and his mouth's wide open with a tongue out and he's having a good time. So fuck me. But at the end of the day, you don't want to work with kids or animals if you don't have to. And especially
that animal could change its mind tomorrow when you bring it to the ring.
Yeah. So just a little thing there where I'm like, I just, you know, seeing my dogs and knowing how they are, I wouldn't want to stress them out doing that, dude.
Dude, my cats are unbelievable. I can't even tell you. They know the difference between me walking up and turning the key on they know when I'm coming from the car. They're in the window. They know when it's not me or my wife. It's so weird that they just run and hide. They're very strange.
Our newest dog, because referee Sideburns came over last night, she got pissed at him because she thinks now that she knows we're leaving to go on vacation, referee Sideburns comes over to take it. So when she sees him, she's like, no, mom and dad aren't fucking leaving. Fuck you. And tries to run him off. So good stuff there. Two more stories here. Former WWE Women's Champion Ronda Rousey announced on Wednesday that she and husband Travis Brown are expecting their first child. In a 3-minute clip posted to Rousey's YouTube, she revealed she's been pregnant since January, is due September 22nd. The baddest woman on the planet also teased they will eventually talk more about their journey into parenthood, as well as the baby's gender. Wow, why wouldn't you let the baby decide their own gender? Ronda Rousey has been away from WWE for 2 years now. Her original 3-year contract was set to expire during WrestleMania 37 weekend, but it remains to be seen if that deal has been extended or if the contract is frozen during her hiatus from the ring after dropping Raw Women's title in the main event at 35. Rousey made it clear she was stepping away from wrestling to become a mother. Congratulations to the happy couple. She recently also retweeted when she must have been pregnant, because since January, you know, some cryptic stuff about you don't know when I'll be returning. Well, apparently you won't be, and I doubt if you ever will be, because it was a money grab while you all the girls have been so nice, and but then the travel isn't what I expected. Well, welcome to professional wrestling. And the reality is she probably got free money for 2 years and didn't have to do fuck all except screw up the WrestleMania finish and throw a couple hip tosses, put on some makeup that makes you look like you got pink eye from a fart pillow. It's another great WWE experience for everyone. Yeah, and then you know what? I can't wait for you to cash in and use whatever your baby is going to be to get $150,000 People magazine covers, and you start pimping out your kids, because that's what the celebrity bullshit lifestyle is.
I cringe a little bit when it's like we're going to share with everybody our personal experience of what it was like to. Do you see what I mean? Like, I understand maybe writing the book someday, but that's the other thing. These people are putting personal things out there that could legitimately be converted into a book in sales someday. I just feel like when you're doing that and you're giving away, social media has been, man, I've been so turned off by it over the past year or two. I've said to you, I've said to Sal, that if we weren't doing stuff like this or had to promote anything, I would not be on any form of social media, because we all have that humanity within ourselves to want to share or want to kind of, I don't know, just put something out there. You want to share something with the world, or you feel like something you have is of value. But some of these personal things, just, it crosses over into a sickness where we are going to have this conversation with you and tell what should be something we cherish between both of us. And I don't know if I'm thinking of it wrong. It's just like,
no,
like when someone tweets something or puts on Facebook that a loved one just died, before they tell the people in their family, and they're like, I just looked at Facebook, Dad's dead. It's like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. I was going to call you after I posted on Facebook. Dude, I don't know what that is, but that is not
healthy.
A well person.
No, it's not, bro.
And that's a lot of people.
Do you want to hear another? I forgot to tell this one. So there's this family at the Dominican Rio Republica where we stayed, and the one girl, she, weird family, just the mom, awkward teenage 14 to 15-year-old daughter, acne and fucking Coke bottle glasses, brother with like duck face, no body, dumpy ass and a gut, who's wearing like Ralph Lauren everything and has socially awkward skills. Then the middle daughter, who has kind of this weird inbred Jed look, but has a tight body on her, what have you. And we saw the guy and her like eating together, and we're like, all right, maybe they're a couple, they're married, but the body language wasn't there. Then we see the whole family together, and something's kind of off, like semi-wealthy, but like don't have it socially,
like monarchy type
weddings. And so we get that they're a family, and there's no like husband and wife vibe between them. So it's like, okay, they're brother and sister. Later, after we all get COVID test and we see them and they're acting weird, they're like standing in front of us. We're like, okay, these are some weird folks, but whatever, they're enjoying their thing. We go back to the beach. The sister with the body is fucking having the brother take selfies of her from behind with the ass. She gets down, puts her ass in the sand to get up to do the sandy ass selfie. And he's fucking taking, dude, it was like the fucking most bizarre perv, like self-serving for Instagram, having your brother take sexy selfies of you, dude. And it was stomach churning. And like, but this is the level that we're at with this fucking madness, not from celebrities, just from regular Ohio fuckfaces who have to live this I'm an Instagram star lifestyle with 3,000 followers, bro.
Now, are they going to Instagram live and tell everybody and share their story about how this all came to happen? Because that's kind of interesting. Like how I got the job to take a picture of my whatever she is, sister, wife, girlfriend, daughter.
You looked like some Mormon sister wives, bro. Something was going on. I was popping huge because the break at the for the first 2 days, the waves were no joke, man. When you went out past the first wave break, it would lift you like 10 footers up off the ground before they break. But people would stand in the wave break because they couldn't get by it, and they're just getting smashed by these 4 or 5 foot breaking waves. And like people come down from New York, and you got some thickness girls there, and they're trying to be beautiful. She's posing with her arms up, and while her boyfriend takes it, wave, boom, knocks her right.
I hope that's on Instagram,
dude. I could sit there all day and watch marks get taken out by the surf. That was one of my favorite things while I was there. I was popping huge. Or these new divorcees who are trying to be half sexy Nancy Browns, and they got to get past the wave break and their hair's all done. Boom, right in the fucking face with some salt water. I live for that shit, bro. Those are my favorite moments on planet Earth to be alive, dude. I love it. Everyone trying to be cool, and then nature says, you ain't shit. you're nothing. Oh,
let's look for his family to be on TLC soon.
dude, it was very grisly. And our final story of the day, Batista. Yeah. He discusses why he won't come out of retirement to wrestle again. The Animal Batista recently spoke about his retirement from wrestling and why he won't be making a return down the line. And the wrestling phrase, never say never, is often thrown around, and that's especially true when it comes to retirements. But there are very few wrestlers who retire and stay that way. However, Batista appears to be set and going against that rule. He says, don't put that out there. People will jump all over it. He laughs. He's coming out of retirement. No, I'm not. It's so hard to convince people that I'm actually retired, who have no idea how tough that discussion is. When professional wrestlers retire, they don't really retire. They kind of retire. If the paycheck or event is big enough, they'll come out of retirement. It's just not that way with me. I exited the business in such a storybook way, I could never go back. I'm just done. I got to finish on my own terms, and nothing's going to bring me back and take me away from that. But he was
really a storybook ending.
I don't know. I don't think so. He was supposed to be part of the class of 2020 Hall of Fame, was able to attend, and WWE pushed his induction to another time. So in another year, what's all about the Monday when he goes in and is going to do it, he's going to have a match. So this is just more Hollywood ignorance. And we've seen some very suspect behavior from him, dressing like a leather daddy cowboy, and also towing the line of the Hollywood lefty shit, you know what I mean? And the guy's from DC and he knows politics, and once that Guardians of the Galaxy money hits, you're gonna dance and do whatever. So he's set now that he doesn't need it. But the fame addiction and the Hall of Fame, this guy will definitely be back in the ring having another match.
He did a lot of stuff anti-Trump for the same. He's another one with Biden in doing the same things Trump, or more than Trump did, wartime, war moves, legitimate bombings. We didn't start any new wars during Trump, but we are with Biden. A lot of them are coming, actually. So I was going to say something too, it's not like he's in a different position than most wrestlers that are obviously forced to retire or forced to stop doing it because they're usually, okay, well, you're giving me a good enough payoff. Maybe that'll be the one thing that can get me back where I need financially. He's already got Hollywood money. He has SAG. He has benefits. He probably has retirement from this point, from the scale that he was working at, the pay scale.
Mm-hmm.
So he could probably stop doing it tomorrow, still get royalties off of the movies he's been in. He's got a ton of other movies that are Netflix or direct to DVD or other things. And he's been in the Bond one, might do that again. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. And Dave's in, what is he? And I like Dave. Dave was always really cool to me, really nice, really never had an attitude, but I mean, Hollywood can change people. Who knows? God, what's the movie he's in now that I saw that was, the zombie one. That's directed by Zack Snyder.
I haven't seen
the one that takes place in Vegas. He's like one of the main movie stars in that, or one of the main.
Last one I saw was the buddy cop fucking thing.
This is like a Day of the Dead type thing where he's one of the military or one of the guys trying to kill the zombies.
Okay.
It looks interesting. I don't know what the name of it is. Was it Dawn of the Dead?
Safe. John Carnage, Twitch's own, is in the house, and many other.
He's still alive, thank God.
No, it says waiting for that Safe Moon money. I'm not sure if Safe Moon is the name of
that's new Pizzagate. So Dave's, I mean, listen, the things in Hollywood or the things in entertainment, I got a small taste of it here and there. It's just, like I said, what did I say every single time I came back from that, on air and off air?
You loved it. It was one of the best experiences.
Yes, I said the process is just such a pleasure. And I just don't see it as a professional wrestler that did it for years on one take, technically. Some pre-tapes, obviously, but the vast majority of it is, we're going to do it, and when I'm done, I'm done. Hollywood or TV shows or anything else is literally, you're shooting not just multiple takes, but multiple takes of multiple angles. And this one little scene that you might see for 45 seconds, and a movie's got to be a million times worse. You're working an entire day or two just on that one little, like even action in the wrestling, the battle royal, the first 4 times we did it, we ran through the whole sequence. It's like, this is cool. This is easy. I'm nice and warmed up. Then it was literally take the bump, stay and stay.
Yeah.
And stay framed. And we got to switch shots like every single time hitting the back of my head. I mean, it was just completely different to do that kind of stuff. And then, you know, the other stuff. And that's why I give it changes or rewires your thinking, I think, about reality, really. Like I can see somebody that's always in acting or Hollywood, standing on marks, being told to say lines, and repeat these lines and stay on the exact spot we tell you to millions of times. Think about how mentally and emotionally that way. I mean, you talk about fragile. You told me how fragile they can be. It's very, very structured in a way that doesn't fulfill me in any way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I was watching the Stone Cold A&E biography while I was doing Stevie Richards Fitness last night, and he even, but well, kid, I better take this name I made for myself in wrestling and go to Hollywood. And he goes, man, I figured out pretty quick I didn't want to do movies for that exact reason right there. He goes, reality TV I liked. I could get in and get out. But what are these guys doing if not hunting, drinking, fishing, and you know they want to? But how much millions of did Stone Cold have? How many millions did he lose in divorces? I guess too. But people are that's where they started bagging on the double at. I'm like, fuck that, bro. Getting away from, because people don't know what the acting world or entertainment world is really like, dealing with these touch holes who you're like, how the fuck did you even get this far? You're such the baseless moron who is just playing this game of power for no reason when it's wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm watching you waste around here for ego-driven shit, you know. But I guess if you want to dress like a leather daddy cowboy, do a couple good films, and that's your thing, and you're out of wrestling, salute to you, bro, because he came through OVW from Leviathan all the way up through, man. So Deacon Bautista with, you know, wearing a donation box around his fucking neck with Devon to where he got his wrestling story is pretty goddamn impressive for a guy who never really wanted the passion to be in the biz to where he is now, Guardians of the Galaxy wise. The Hollyweird shit, I mean, that just comes with the territory, I guess, when you decide to go with the gay mafia as your backers. Like, you're just going to do it, whether Nash does it with playing queer dads and fucking things and along those lines, or The Rock dressing like the Tooth Fairy. We know who backs these guys, and we know where they're going with it. All you have to see is what The Rock has done in the last 2 weeks, you know, with these, if that's what the people want, you know, like as we move.
Should I?
Should. Closer and closer to the idiocracy, man.
Yeah, Austin's statement, I want to watch that A&E thing.
It's good.
His one statement about that could be considered to be just a little gloss over statement, has so many layers to it if you've been around it.
Right.
So many layers. Like, was it just the phoniness, the politics, the grind of just this mindless stuff that didn't, because Steve's very much a guy that just, he needs to feel productive. I can see that in him. He works on his ranch. He's out there. He's hunting. He's fishing. Like you said, there's got to be some kind of grind to what he does.
He says he's a type A personality where it feels like even when he's on time, he's late for something. He always has to be doing.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're sitting in your trailer and you're supposed to start at 1:30, and here we are at 3:30, and nothing's happening. Nobody's talking to you. Then it's a 6 p.m. shoot. Oh, we got a break for dinner now. Now it's a 6 p.m. thing. Now, how long am I going to be here? But we got it done? No, we got to do 5 more. No, now we got to find this guy. I'm sure Steve was just like. And then you're dealing with the personalities, and it's just a whole different other thing, you know.
And him being an entertainer is dumping that in 6 to 12 minutes, not spread across the fucking 9-10 hour shooting day. Like, that's just not the way things are done that way, you know.
Oh, so, forget about it. He was in fight scenes in that Condemned movie and a couple other things, and Expendables. Dude, a fight scene can take 2 weeks and you see it for about 30 seconds.
When he could do it right the first time if everybody was on their mark and get shit done, you know.
I just want to finish up with the fact that I loved it, that I know, you know, like I said, nothing is, I just thought the whatever you call it, just the irony of the fact that I was playing a stunt guy for a guy playing a wrestler who couldn't take any bumps, but they didn't want to hire a wrestler to just act as the wrestler within the wrestling show. It's a weird thing. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's Inception. The work within the work within the work. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma, what you've got wrestlers who can easily deliver. Is that actor you have really delivering the lines at a level that's so incredible? Is the writing so incredible that it only takes an Al Pacino level actor to be able to fucking do it? Meanwhile, Al can't take the bumps, so we're going to bring in. No, it's another unknown actor who's just getting his first break, who really isn't known or over as a draw to be putting in that position. But we're going to hire them. And then we're also going to get a guy who can do the job fully, probably better and more realistically. But this is a TV show. We need actors. We don't need wrestlers. We only need them for this, that, or the other. That's what these asshole idiot producers convince themselves of, bro. And it doesn't mean just on that show. That's every show.
I'm fine with it. Hey, but I made no secret, and I'm very respectful and nice about it, but it's just good money. It's what it is. It's not for me. I'm not joining SAG. I'm not doing anything. So it's not the life. It's not the life for me. It's really not. But I'll take your money. And that's what wrestling should be too. You shouldn't sell too hard for that. What's
right. The addiction is seeing yourself after on camera and being solidified as I'm a TV star, but the money is where their addiction is. Our addiction is the politics and the performance high. You don't get the performance high at all when you're shooting something. It's very there's no in the moment, no reaction right afterwards, no, working with a crowd. It's creating a reality that you're not sure is even happening because it's all about the editors and the directors and what they're going to do with it afterwards. So
there's a joke in the chat room, we'll hire someone to play Stevie Richards, but that's exactly their thought process, not actually getting the guy. But I hope my staring contest with Mel gets some hell on there.
In there. Oh man, we'll get it in there as we did extended Friday locker room. This one went by quick, even though we're past 2 hours. And
sorry about that, man.
It's quite all right, man. So was the Raw and SmackDown review. Stevie and I had a great time recapping that, and the Master Shoot Theater where Vince rewrites the Bible this week. I thought was great. And shout out to Frostbite BC. Who made these awesome, I don't know what the app is called, but he's taking stills of Vince and Stevie. I must have watched the one where Stevie shakes his head 15 times. I fucking laugh my ass off at it. Just really great stuff there. I want to say thank you for taking what we do and bringing a new life to it. I'm excited to see more of those. And I don't know what that app is called, but it was definitely a fun time this week on Master Shoot Theater, where Vince is resorting to prayer at this point. So we rewrote the Bible and got some good laughs that way. Goddamn, pal.
But you have to tell everybody why he was praying.
What was I forget?
Because he was afraid he was going to get released.
Oh, yeah, I thought he was worried he was going to get future endeavored as well. So Vince is on the chopping block. Nobody's safe around here, pal. But yeah, dude, the best way to make yourself safe from outside influence is becoming a better you. And the best way to do that is Stevie Richards Fitness and joining the resistance against being a fat bastard. I know I'm trying to do my best, man, and working hard this week, re-inspired, re-motivated after vacation, and just keep pushing forward, because I already got an early spring booking lined up, which is kayfabe as well. Don't ask us about the Horsemen, because we're not telling until we need to. That's just something we got to do right now. But patreon.com/Haminie Media Group is the place to go to get all the free shows as we re-platform, as well as russosbrand.com. This week, Stevie Ray TV, a lot of big guests lined up. I know we just had King Mo, other big boxing names and fight names that we're working on that way. He's really pushing his boundaries. Looks like April and Idol on the A Show are having a great time. They had Colin dressing up in cosplay, and people love Damian Sandow on Stevie Ray as well, and also April Hunter on the Beautiful People. So triple Beautiful People this week with all the eye candy and fun that you guys can have, man. Got to get up the new Rip Rogers episode as well for you guys. And Stevie, what are you working on, man, this week, and where else can we send them?
I'm about to head out in about 5 minutes and potentially overpay for a house, but that's okay. You know, that's just planning different stuff. I really would love, even though we're talking about minimalism a lot, if this opportunity comes along to get this, I'll be able to expand the home gym to really review a lot more products, a lot more trainers and racks, cardio, fit a lot more equipment in there that I can use, because I think I've only scratched the surface with the gym affiliate stuff. And obviously StevieRichardsFitness.com is there, and looking to really pull a power band program together, like a 5x5. I've been testing it. I've been talking about it for 2 years, but that's how much thought I've been putting into this to make sure, well, this could be tough for somebody that hasn't done it. I got to explain this right. I must have shot the videos 10 times each. So I've put a lot into them. But as far as that it will come hopefully by the end of the year, right in time for New Year's resolution, if we're allowed to have them, government, and also forceusa.com/Stevie. Like I said, I'm really grateful. We had some sales as we were recording. Diamondbackfitness.com/Stevie, and as well as the YouTube channel. We're just this close to 75,000 subscribers. Let's get 25,000 more so I can smash the play button live on the YouTube channel. Wouldn't that be more irony?
Yeah, smash it with a goddamn sledgehammer is what I'd like to see, man. But
I'll smash it. I'm actually going to smash it with the Bill of Rights in a book.
Well, did you see that YouTube gave out their first award for being a platform that's for everyone, all inclusive, and they happen to give it to YouTube president Jackie. So,
oh yeah, I saw the downvotes on that too. It was like 12 likes and like 40,000 downvotes.
Oh my God.
Did somebody come out and hit her with the trophy like wrestling?
Dude, there's nobody I'd like to see sucked out into the ocean after being hit by a big wave and never to be heard from again than their entire staff. That'd be phenomenal, and she can lead the charge. But it's ribs like that are right in our face of just like, this is where we are because of complacency. But we're going to keep talking that real talk until we have to say thank you to the people who finally canceled. So thank you to Podbean. Thank you to Twitch, and thank you to YouTube. It's been a really great experience learning how to create on your platform, and that everything's for content creators, except for those who talk and openly and use free thought and music and art to reinforce their points and build a community in a time of a prison planet. I really want to thank all those platforms for all their great service and really helping us out, you guys. Good job to everybody. It's Hacker Haminie. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's Team Biceps and Titties.
An eye for an eye.
Here on your Friday Veteran Locker Room, infidels. YOLO.